I'm at this super exclusive wine tasting for the financial elite, and I just casually grab a glass of red.
But right as I go for a sip, my wife's sworn brother snatches it. He yells, "Are you completely crazy? Do you know this is Ramani Kanti reserved for Mr. Ong?"
How does a pathetic stay-at-home husband like you even dare to touch this?
You schemed your way in here just to ruin things for my sister? My wife glares at me too, absolutely furious and full of pure disgust.
You useless trash. You humiliate me. Get out. But I don't even get mad. I just smile and dump the whole bottle over my wife and her secretary.
This garbage is barely fit for mouthwash. My father would never have such incredibly cheap taste. Chantrek, are you out of your mind?
My wife, Tum Tangmart, shrieks, her sharp voice piercing the entire party. She frantically wipes the red wine off her hair and face, looking like a total mess.
I just stand there, completely unfazed. Beside her, Tatu watches the whole thing, a mocking little smirk flashing in his eyes.
Brother-in-law, this is way too far. Do you have any idea she drank until her stomach bled just to secure this party invitation?
And now you humiliate us like this? I stay quiet. I already told Thum Teng Mat I had my own invite, but she called me a liar and made me stand in the freezing rain for 10 whole hours.
I am honestly so done with these two.
I turn to walk away, but then I spot the watch on Tatu's wrist. I freeze, my eyes widen. That is the exact same watch Tum Teng Mat gave me when we got engaged.
She told me back then, Attract, this watch will never stop ticking, and neither will my love for you.
Barely 3 years later, she literally gives our marriage token away to another man. I guess whatever love she had for me is completely dead and gone.
A bitter smile tugs at my lips. Catching my stare, Tatu flashes a smug little grin, purposely twisting his wrist to show it off.
But the second Tum Mat looks his way, he plays the victim. He says, "Brother-in-law, I know you're jealous that she gifted me this watch."
But you cannot just crash Mr. Own's party out of spite. What is she supposed to do now? He raises his voice on purpose, making every single guest turn and stare.
People start whispering, "Who is that guy causing trouble at Mr. Own's event? Oh, that is Director Thumb from the Thumb Group."
I heard she spent an absolute fortune just to get inside today. The room buzzes with gossip, eyes locked on us with curiosity, shock, and total amusement.
Thum Thanh Mat hears everything, her face twisting in pure humiliation. She snaps, "Chen Trạch, are you finally happy?"
Causing this massive scene over one stupid watch. You are so incredibly pathetic. Saying that, she shoots me a completely vicious glare. My chest tightens. The painful truth is, I never cared about the material item. I only cared about the real bond we used to share. But right now, her eyes and her heart only have room for Tatu, this junior she met barely 3 months ago. My eyes fill with pure self-mockery. Seeing me stay totally quiet, Tum Teng Mart gets even angrier. She spots the empty wine bottle and sneers, "You useless piece of trash, ruining everything as usual." Where am I supposed to find another bottle of Ramani Kanti to pay Mr. Own back? Staring at her twisted, furious face, I just feel totally numb. Is this really the same woman I abandoned my entire powerful family to marry? Heavy sorrow settles in my chest. I almost speak, but Tatu rolls his eyes and plays the helpful hero. He says, "Sister, I have an idea. I heard Mr. Own is pretty reasonable. If brother-in-law kneels down right now and kowtows 100 times, the boss definitely will forgive him." Hearing this garbage, I literally laugh out loud. But wait until you see her reaction. Thum Teng Mat actually hesitates. She stays quiet for a few seconds, stares right at me, and slowly speaks. Just do exactly what Atu says. More self-mockery flashes in my eyes. I really should have seen this coming. She always takes his side over mine, no matter what. The absolute last shred of hope and love I had for Tum Teng Mat just shatters completely. Seeing me just stand there, Tatu loses patience. He sneers. "Hurry up and kneel. If Mr. Own stays mad, wait until you see what my sister does to you." But before he even finishes that sentence, I swing my hand and slap him hard across the face. Dead silence hits the entire room. Everyone gasps in shock, staring at the bright red handprint glowing on Tatsu's cheek.
Tumtangmot explodes. Chunjak, you actually dare to hit Atsu? Without another word, she shoves me hard. Caught totally off guard, I stumble back 2 steps and crash straight into a massive wine tower behind me. Glass shatters everywhere. Red wine glasses smash into pieces across the floor, splashing that dark red liquid all over the place. It is totally over. Mr. Owen loves collecting vintage wine. Ruining his display like this will make him absolutely furious, one terrified guest yells out.
Thẩm Thanh Mạt face instantly goes white. Tạ Tử panic. Sister, he just caused a massive disaster. Forget the partnership. Your whole company is gonna get dragged down for this.
You can practically smell the fake acting. Tater puts on this super serious look, staring at the mess and pretending to blame himself.
If I knew this would happen, I would have just given him the watch. Hearing that, Tumtangmart snaps her head toward me, her eyes exploding with absolute, unfiltered rage and disgust.
This is all your fault, you pathetic trash.
She raises her hand to slap me right in the face, but this time, I catch her wrist and grip it hard. Her expression instantly twists into complete and utter shock.
Right at that second, the event manager marches over with a squad of bodyguards. The guests' eyes light up, their posture instantly becoming highly respectful. That is Secretary Lee, Mr. Owen's absolute right-hand man. Those 3 are completely finished. Who knows how severely they are about to get punished? Hearing all those whispers, Tumtangmot literally starts trembling, every single drop of color draining right out of her face. Even Tatu gets this sudden look of pure fear. But our MC stays totally chill, acting like absolutely nothing is wrong. Secretary Lai spots our guy, and a quick flash of genuine, total shock crosses his face. But before he can even speak, Tatu suddenly rushes forward, full of pathetic flattery. He practically begs, "You must be Old Man On's most trusted aide. I am Tae-tu, Tham Group Director, and Tham Mot is my sworn sister." He drags Tumtangmot over, but Secretary Lee ignores them. His eyes stay locked right onto our MC. Tumtangmot seriously thinks he is staring at the massive mess behind them and completely tenses up. Meanwhile, Tatu rolls his eyes, putting on this super fake, terrified act. He whines that it is his fault for not giving his brother-in-law a gift, making him lose control. But do not be angry, he claims. Our guy will gladly kneel and bow 100 times to apologize to Old Man On. Saying that, he turns and yells, "Brother-in-law, get on your knees and beg for mercy right now." Our MC does not move an inch, just giving this cold, sharp smirk. Seeing that, Tumtangmot completely panics and screams at him to get lost or never set foot in the Tham family house ever again. Though he gave up on her long ago, hearing those words still brings a slight bitter sting to his heart. But honestly, this is for the best. No more reason to hold on. He shoots Secretary Lee a look to stay quiet, turns to Tumtangmot, and coldly tells her, "Then let's just get a divorce." She freezes up, completely in shock, while Tatu lights up with absolute joy. He cheers. "Sister, this is perfect. Now my brother-in-law's massive mistakes will not end up dragging us down with him."
Tumtangmot snaps out of it and glares at him smugly. "You said it yourself," she spits. "Do not beg me later, and you are not getting a single penny."
Right after that, she pulls a prepared divorce agreement out of her bag and shoves it at him. He pauses for a second, quickly flipping through the pages. Seeing the draft date was actually a whole month ago, he lets out a quiet, self-mocking laugh. Now check out this timing. That was the exact day Tae-tu moved into the Tom house, and the day our MC got kicked into the servant's room. She wanted a divorce back then. Fine by him. He is totally done anyway. He signs the agreement without any hesitation. Seeing that signature, a quick flash of pure satisfaction crosses Tumtangmot's face. She snaps that from now on, they have absolutely zero connection. If she ever catches him using the Tham family name, she swears to make his life a total living hell. She glares at him, clearly wanting to see pure regret on his face. Too bad she is about to be completely disappointed. Right on cue, Tatu cuts in with a smirk. "Secretary Lee, Tron Trek is no longer my sister's husband, so you can deal with him however you want."
He gives Tran Trek this provoking glare. "You offended Old Man On," he sneers. "Just wait to die."
Tran Trek just smiles casually. Some idiots really always think they are so smart. He walks straight towards Secretary Lai, but Tatu quickly steps up to block his path.
Track, are you insane? Tatu yells. You want to attack Secretary Lee right now? A quick look of utter helplessness flashes in our MC's eyes.
Tamtang Mat actually threw him away for this kind of trash. What a massive joke. Tatu probably catches the heavy sarcasm staring right back at him.
His face instantly darkens. Who gave you the guts to look at me like that? He snaps. Do you even deserve to? Then he turns to Thumb Thang Mat, playing the total victim.
Sister, are you just going to watch him bully me? Damtan Mat immediately steps up right beside him, her eyes practically overflowing with disgust and deep contempt.
You useless freeloader, she barks. What right do you have to look down on anyone else? You are going to apologize to Tatu today.
Pure mockery flashes in Tran Trak's eyes. Apologize to just him? He asks.
Tamtang Mat's face turns bright red, her whole body shaking as she raises a hand to hit him, but he slaps her right back, sending her crashing to the floor. Tranchak, you absolute bastard!
She holds her face, glaring viciously. You dare hit me, I will completely ruin you. She scrambles to her feet, panting heavily from rage, and screams through gritted teeth.
Tatu, beat him to death for me right now.
Tatu roars back. I will kill you, you freeloading pretty boy. But before he can even touch our MC's clothes, he gets sent flying backward, slamming heavily into the dirt. Seeing a whole wall of bodyguards suddenly blocking Tran Trak, absolute shock floods Damtang Mat's eyes. What on earth? She stammers. What is going on here? She quickly turns to the man in charge, completely confused. Secretary Lee, she asks, did your people make some massive mistake?
Why help this absolute trash who dared to offend Old Man An? Hearing that, Secretary Lai's face instantly turns dead serious, and he furiously barks out, "Shut your mouth!"
Tamtang Mat jumps in pure fear. Before she can even argue, Secretary Lee walks straight past her, approaching our MC. The payoff here is just perfect. He bows deeply, respectfully greeting him as young master. The whole place explodes into whispers, guests wondering what kind of elite heir makes Secretary Lai bow like that.
Tamtang Mat snaps her head toward him, pure, unadulterated terror visible in her eyes.
What the hell is this? She stutters. Aren't you just some pathetic orphan? Hearing that, all the guests frown in total confusion.
Right at this exact moment, Tatu suddenly screams out, "I know what this is. He is definitely a fake."
He glares at Secretary Lee, yelling that he has been completely fooled. Tran Trak only survived this long relying on his sister, so there is no way he is some young master. Worried nobody believes him,
Ta even yanks out his phone and pulls up an album showing photos of Tran Trak cooking and cleaning, wearing nothing but faded, worn-out old clothes.
He laughs mockingly. Tran Trak, what kind of rich heir plays the desperate house husband? This is absolutely ridiculous.
His eyes are full of utter contempt, and Tamtang Mat starts sneering too, her gaze dripping with heavy sarcasm.
You really disappoint me, she mocks, setting up this cheap fake act. You actually thought you could trick Secretary Lee and Old Man An. Just wait for your funeral.
As soon as those words fell, a commanding male voice echoed from the hall doors. Leaving my son to die. How absolutely arrogant.
Everyone turned their heads, and when they saw who was speaking, their eyes went wide with pure, absolute shock.
It was a gray-haired man, radiating an incredibly powerful aura, and right behind him stood a tight, strictly trained squad of bodyguards, all dressed in sharp black suits.
Tamtang Mat stared blankly, asking who he was and saying they didn't know each other at all. But the man didn't even pay her any mind. He just kept his eyes completely locked on me, his own eyes turning a little red.
After all these years, you finally know how to come home. Looking right into his eyes, a bitter ache rose up inside me.
Years ago, I actually ran away from home just to escape an arranged marriage, ended up meeting Tamtang Mat, and then I completely cut off all ties with my family just for her.
Who knew it would end up exactly like this? Maybe I was just wrong from the start. I sighed.
Dad. The second I said it, Tamtang Mat's eyes went wide, her face full of panic. This is your father. How is that possible?
I never heard you say you had a family. I laughed bitterly. Or maybe you just completely forgot. I tried countless times to tell you my real identity, but you never wanted to listen. Tatu had a fever. I had to go take care of him.
It was his birthday, so you had to take him to the beach. His power went out, so you had to keep him company. Every single time you had some excuse, and the center of it all was always Tattoo.
So what was the point in me talking? Seeing my silence, Tumtang Mat instantly blew up, her face turning green. You liar! You dared to hide this from me for so long. Standing right beside her, Tattoo quickly stepped up and patted her back to comfort her. Sister,
Don't get mad over a piece of trash like him. Then he glared at my father from head to toe with absolute, pure disgust.
Wait, so you are Trunchek's dad? That suit you're wearing probably wasn't cheap to rent, huh? How much did you pay for those guys standing behind you?
Do you have any idea this is Old Own's banquet? You two coming here playing dress-up. Are you just asking to die?
His voice pitched high, eyes full of smug pride. Tattoo is right. Tumtang Mat immediately chimed in, throwing a really disdainful glare my way.
Don't think his little act is enough to scare me. Anyone who raised a loser like you must be completely useless himself. She said it loudly, looking incredibly arrogant and totally full of herself.
I just looked coldly at those two absolute fools. It was honestly hilarious. Could they seriously not see that all the guests around them were staring with sheer disgust and anger? Seeing no reaction from me, they both thought I was terrified, and they just got even more arrogant.
Thẩm Thanh Mạt bác ao. Sếp ký lý, hurry up anh trối cái scammer father and son pair out of here.
But totally out of her expectations, Secretary Lee didn't pay her any attention at all. Tumtang Mat felt humiliated, her face turning beet red with pure fury.
You're Old Un's right-hand man. How can you just let some random people come in and ruin the banquet?
Tattoo sees this, rolls his eyes, and gives this seriously wicked smile. Now watch his ego completely blind him. Sister, how about we just handle these two losers ourselves? If we make Old Own happy, the contract might just get signed.
Hearing that, a very calculating gleam flashed in Tumtang Mat's eyes, but when she caught sight of the black-suited bodyguards standing right behind my father,
She hesitated for a second. She and Tatsu were absolutely no match for these highly trained guys.
thinking it over for a few seconds, Tumtang Mat turned to the crowd of guests and raised her voice. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Don't you guys want to please Old Own?
Don't worry, I guarantee these two losers don't have any sort of background at all. Even if you beat them to death, absolutely nothing will happen to you.
But what completely confused her was that nobody stepped up to help. Instead, every single person in the room simultaneously backed away,
avoiding them like they were an actual plague. Tumtang Mat and Tatsu stood there baffled, and after a few quiet seconds, her gaze suddenly turned vicious.
She snapped back to me. Trunchek, is this little trick you're doing? I just gave a faint smile and didn't answer her.
Seeing that, Tatu rolled up his sleeves and charged right at me. But before he could even swing his fist, a bodyguard slammed him into the ground. Let me go. Do you know I'm with the Tum Group?
Release me right now, or I'll make sure all of you die an ugly death.
He was screaming and thrashing around, but his arms were completely locked down. He couldn't move an inch. Tumtang Mat felt incredibly heartbroken seeing this and screamed at my father, "Old man, are you looking to die?"
Tell your guys to let him go right now. Otherwise, don't blame me for playing dirty.
My dad just gave a cold laugh, looking at me with a teasing expression. Is this really the woman you chose to be your wife?
My face went totally red, and just as I opened my mouth to explain, Tumtang Mat rudely cut me off. Does trash like you even deserve to be a son-in-law to the Thumb family?
Chunchek and I are already divorced, so don't even dream of having any ties to me anymore.
Before she could finish her sentence, my slap echoed right across her face. Oh, this is the exact moment we've been waiting for. Smack! The sharp sound left Tumtang Mat completely stunned, glaring at me with furious disbelief. "You dare!" Her words barely left her mouth before I swung another heavy slap. I didn't stop until she went completely quiet.
By this point, Tumtang Mat's face was completely swollen up like a pig. She looked at me, wanting to speak, but finally didn't dare to open her mouth.
Pinned to the floor, Tatu watched the whole thing happen and was practically shaking with rage. Chun-Trick, you animal, you actually dare to hit her? Just wait until Old Own arrives. I'll make sure you die without a grave. My dad just raised an eyebrow. Are you really sure Old Own will listen to you?
Tattoo looked briefly flustered, but kept his tough tone.
Of course I am. She's the absolute pillar of the Thumb Group, and Old Own definitely values her highly.
If you don't believe it, just wait and see. Once old Own steps up for us, I'll make you beg for a mercy that will never come.
My dad just lets out this mocking laugh. On what grounds should I step up for your sister and deal with my own biological son?
What did you just say? Tatir completely freezes up, staring at my father with pure, unadulterated panic in his eyes. Who exactly are you? My father ignores him completely, just turning to the guests. Apologies for making you watch this absolute joke today.
Elder Own, you are far too polite. They say, this is just a minor hiccup. How could it possibly ruin your banquet?
Exactly. Just seeing you is our greatest honor. One by one they chime in, looking at my dad with absolute respect and heavy flattery.
That whole scene leaves Tatir stunned, while Thumbtang Might basically turns to stone, stuttering in disbelief. How is this even possible?
You are Elder Own's son, but your surname is Churn, and his surname is Own.
Ha! I let out a cold laugh. You spent so much effort kissing up, yet you somehow never knew his full name is Chen On.
Hearing that, Thumbtang Mat goes completely pale, stumbling back a few steps, while the crowd avoids her like a plague. She slumps right to the floor, her eyes swimming with sudden, crushing regret.
I actually dare to insult Elder Own. It is totally over. And Tatu, he is shaking so badly he cannot even stand, just crawling in pure panic.
My father turns to look at me, his voice low and steady. Deochek, how do you want to handle these two?
I cannot help but frown, a quick calculation flashing in my eyes before I say it coldly. Make the thumb group completely disappear.
After a few seconds of dead silence, my decision is absolute. After all, Thumbtang Mat and Tatsu did not just insult me, they actually dared to verbally humiliate my father. Whatever miserable ending they get today is entirely well-deserved.
Hearing that absolute sentence, Thumbtang Mat instantly turns chalk white.
Atrak, we are husband and wife. How can you do this to me? You know the thumb group is my life's work. How could you be so unbelievably cruel?
I just find it hilarious. Her life's work.
If I had not been secretly pulling strings behind the scenes, tracking down heavy investors, and handing over contracts, there is absolutely no way a competitive capital like this would ever tolerate a total fool like her and that useless company of hers.
Achek, I am begging you. Seeing me stay perfectly silent, Thumbtang Mat scrambles right up, practically throwing herself in front of me. I am your wife. Did you forget? When we married, you swore to protect me forever. A heavy dose of pure mockery flashes right through my eyes.
If I remember correctly, about 10 minutes ago, we just finished signing the divorce papers. Her face instantly twists into something incredibly ugly.
Watch this pathetic scramble. Seeing her fail, Tatu quickly jumps in. Brother-in-law, my sister was just emotional. Please do not hold it against her.
I can testify my sister loves you the most. I just turned to look at him, letting out a flat laugh. Loves me? Then why did she bring you home acting like you were family?
She loves me? So she prepared divorce papers? She loves me? So she tried making me kowtow 100 times in front of a crowd?
Tatu starts panicking, frantically looking over at Thumbtang Mat for some kind of help, but she just helplessly shakes her head with a bitter smile.
Driven by sheer desperation, he violently slaps himself a few times, then turns to my father with a swollen face and falling tears. Elder Own?
It is all my fault for misunderstanding my brother-in-law. Take these slaps as an apology. Please do not blame my sister anymore. She is still your daughter-in-law.
I watched that entire spectacle feeling nothing but heavy irony. Earlier you tried forcing me to kneel, but when it is your turn, a few careless slaps are enough.
Hearing me? Tatu freezes for a second before his eyes literally light up. Brother-in-law, so if I kowtow, you will actually forgive us, right?
Sister, hurry up and kneel down to apologize with me. Then brother-in-law will stop being angry, and you can still be the Chen family's daughter-in-law.
A flash of deep reluctance crosses Thumbtang Mat's eyes, but under Tatsu's heavy pressure, she finally caves and agrees to do it. But right as the two of them are about to kneel, Thumbtang Mat's face suddenly changes. She hunches over in pain, dry heaving aggressively.
Sister, are you actually pregnant? Tatu instantly screams out in joy. Thumbtang Mat completely freezes. Wait, pregnant?
You can feel the tension spike here. Before she can even finish, she vomits violently again. The guests watch with incredibly complicated eyes, mixing sharp jealousy with pure admiration. If that is truly Trun-Trek's child, that could be the main Trun family heir. A mother rises with her baby. She could walk sideways through this capital. Hearing the crowd, Tum-Tang Mart gets absolutely overjoyed, looking right at me with wild excitement. Trek, did you hear that? I am pregnant. You are going to be a father. Saying that, she immediately turns to my dad. Father, do not worry. I will definitely bear you a healthy, smart grandson. My father's face goes ice cold in an instant. No need. The Churn family does not want this child. I will pay you 100 million. Go get rid of it. That exact sentence leaves Tum-Tang Mart totally stunned, while Tatsu panics, shouting out, Elder Own, how could you? This is way too cruel. Would you really leave your own biological grandson without a mother? Sister, you absolutely cannot agree to this. This baby is yours. No amount of money could ever replace it. His frantic words seem to jolt Tum-Tang Mart right awake. She quickly nods, tears pooling in her eyes as she looks my way. Trek, do you really have the heart to abandon us? We used to love each other so much. Do you really not want me and this baby anymore? Seeing that teary, desperate gaze, I actually freeze up for a brief second. She is a genuinely amazing actor. If she and I had not been sleeping in separate rooms for half a year, I might have actually believed the kid was mine. But unfortunately for her, fake can never become real. I look straight into Tum-Tang Mart's eyes, and right now, there is nothing left but pure disgust. Did you forget? We have not slept in the same bed for half a year. Who does this child actually belongs to? You know that best. I, Tran-Trak, never raise another man's kid. The whole room instantly explodes. Someone whispers, is this woman crazy? Daring to pull a scam like this? Her stomach is still totally flat, so she cannot be more than 2 months pregnant anyway. What incredible nerve, daring to betray the powerful Tran family. The guests keep gossiping, aiming highly disgusted glares straight at Tum-Tang Mart. Seeing this, her face turns incredibly pale, looking totally drained. Pure panic fills her eyes as she stares at me, trembling, shaking her head. No, it is not like that. Let me explain. Trak, this baby is yours. Tears stream down her face as she chokes up. You were drunk. You just forgot. Enough. I cut her off coldly, locking her icy stare right onto her. I never even drink. Tum-Tang Mart shudders, stumbling right into Tatu's arms in absolute terror. She tries to speak, but Tatu roughly shoves her to the floor. She cries out in serious pain. She stares at him, totally confused. Sister, stop denying it, Tatu growls, eyes flashing viciously. What are you doing? Tum-Tang Mart turns ghost white, but Tatu just ignores her, looking at me with a super guilty expression. Brother-in-law, even though we share no blood, I have always seen you as my own real family. If she had not constantly threatened me, I would have told you sooner. I raise a brow, voice dropping. What? Tatu grits his teeth. Now brace yourselves for this. She cheated. It was that new manager, and the baby is most likely his. Before he even finishes, the entire banquet hall completely erupts. This is insane, throwing young Master Tran aside to chase some lowly manager. What a truly shameless and absolutely pathetic woman. I would cling to young Master Tran forever. The guests gossip loudly, aiming highly disgusted glares straight at Tum-Tang Mart. She panics and sobs. No, Atrak, you must believe me. I would never do that. But Tatu just sneers and cuts her off. Stop pretending, sister. I saw you two together, still daring to lie? Then, as if realizing something, Tatu slaps his forehead and looks at me flatteringly. I almost forgot. You and this wretched woman already divorced. Let me call you brother now. You know I consider you family. Seeing his totally sycophantic attitude, Tum-Tang Mart suddenly understands everything, letting out a bitter laugh. So you framed me just to cling to power. You really think Atrak will value you more for this? Keep dreaming. So stupid. She turns to me, her eyes pleading. Atrak, I never crossed any lines with him. I swear. I nod. I know. Tatu pales. Tum-Tang Mart rejoices, screaming out, You believe me. You still love me. She lunges forward to hug me, but gets blocked by my security guards. Looking stunned, she asks nervously, "A track? Still mad?" I chuckle coldly. "You did nothing with the manager, but what about Tattoo?"
What you and this adopted brother did, do you really think nobody knows?
Hearing this, Tom Thang Mat almost collapses. Tattoo panics, frantically crying injustice. "She forced me." "Do not blame me. If this vile woman had not threatened me, I would never have done anything to betray you."
Watching him panic, Tom Tang Mat laughs bitterly. "I was blind to ever choose a guy like you." Then she slaps Tattoo incredibly hard.
He instantly gets furious. "You dare hit me? If not for you, would I have offended Old Man An and young Master Tron?"
Things get pretty ugly. Still yelling, his fist slams into her face, triggering a totally vicious struggle. In seconds, she loses the upper hand. Tattoo pins her down, raining heavy punches all over her fragile body. Thang Tang Mat looks in pure agony. Suddenly, someone screams out, "Look, she's badly injured!"
All eyes turn, seeing Thom Ton Mat's dress already stained completely deep red.
The red stain keeps spreading terribly, growing larger by the second. Tattoo panics, falling backward in pure fear. "No, not me. It is all your fault." His eyes are completely filled with dread, but Thang Tung Mat lacks the strength to reply.
She just lets out painful groans, curling up and trembling, lips badly injured.
Whispering weakly, "My baby." She struggles to look at me like she wants help, but faints before even speaking. She is rushed to the hospital, but the injuries are severe. She loses the baby and suffers permanent damage. As for Tattoo, police escort him away right then and there. The banquet finally ends.
I follow Dad back to the Tran estate. Seeing everything familiar, my eyes suddenly get pretty teary.
Seeing this, Dad smiles and pats my shoulder. "Son, experiencing a bit more never hurts. Starting today, join the corporation and help me out." I nod slightly. "All right, it is time I shoulder this responsibility." Dad then asks, "So how will you handle that woman?" I stay quiet for a moment, then tell him to stick to the original plan. Erase the Thumb Group from the capital completely.
What about that guy? My father asks. I frown, completely indifferent to it all. That piece of trash isn't worth our time. Just let Thum Ting Mat and him tear each other apart.
Father hears this. A spark of real satisfaction flashes in his eyes. The very next day, I officially step straight into the corporation.
My first order, destroy the Thumb Group completely. No holding back whatsoever. In no time, every single partner cancels their contracts and pulls funding, throwing the Thumb Group into a massive, crippling crisis. Most employees jump ship immediately. Only a few loyalists stay, clinging to Thum Tang Mat. But against this kind of brutal storm, how could such a tiny crew possibly survive?
The defectors take something else too: crucial clients and top-secret documents.
Hitting a dead end, her inner circle rushes to the hospital for her help, but she can only tell them to grit their teeth and wait. They completely lose hope. Instead of just quitting, they straight up sell all their Thom Group shares right to their rivals. By the time Tum Tang Mat is discharged, the business has completely collapsed, leaving her crushed under an absolutely massive pile of debt. Completely ruined. She kneels at my gate, constantly bowing and begging for forgiveness. Coldly, I order her thrown into the police station for trespassing. She realizes I've permanently abandoned her. Tom Tang Mat spirals straight into heavy drinking, getting completely wasted every single night. Only after getting severely beaten by her angry creditors does she finally think about scraping together some money. What really surprises me is her first move, bailing Tattoo out. But get this, her remaining assets? Almost all of them are sitting in his hands. But Tattoo instantly turns on her, refusing to give back a single cent. No matter how much Tum Tang Mat begs, he just stays completely cold. Pushed into absolute, utter despair, Thum Tang Mat downs a whole bottle of liquor, grabs a fruit knife, and brutally strikes Tatsu 99 times straight. By the time the cops arrive, he is ruined beyond repair. He doesn't even make it to the hospital before his time is permanently up. She gets arrested on the spot. 3 months later, she gets 30 years in prison for intentionally committing the ultimate, unforgivable crime against him. The rest of her life, rotting behind bars. Yet she still refuses to accept it, constantly threatening to end it all just to call me.
Getting incredibly annoyed by this endless harassment, I spend a huge sum to have the guards inside take very special care of her.
From that moment on, Tumtang Mart never gets another chance to call me again. Rumor says her daily life is pure hell now, a conclusion that satisfies me deeply.
3 years pass. Today is the exact day my father officially retires. I am the new ruler of the financial world now. My father pats my shoulder proudly, thinking I can finally breathe easy. But taking our baby from my wife and placing him in his arms, I say relaxing is impossible.
Father isn't angry at all.
He just smiles gently at his grandson. Fine then, he says. From now on, I'll focus entirely on keeping my precious firstborn grandson company.